Today on Seattle Refined, what happens when grub and grunge collide?
Music gave me a community that I felt like I was a part of. It gave me people who were like-minded, who were also weirdos.
Right this way, your table's waiting for a party of three that will take you back to the glory years of the Seattle Sound. Plus, what's so funny? We take you to a club where laughing is serious business and can help you live longer. Then, grape news about grape juice. Find out why Washington grapes are good for much more than just wine.
It smells really good.
Seattle Refined starts now.
Hi everybody, welcome to Seattle Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. I am so excited for today's show because we are kicking things off with one of my favorite reoccurring segments here on Refined. It's called Party of Three.
That's where we invite three fascinating people out to lunch and just let the cameras and the conversation roll. Thanks to our sponsor, Reach Now, today's Party of Three is a who's who of the Seattle music scene.
So over here is an actual piece of the wall from our original office space.
You can find artifacts from Seattle's rock and roll history all over Sub Pop Records.
And then we remembered that there was a spot right next to the front desk where Kurt Cobain actually wrote his address in Olympia.
Nirvana's lead singer spray painted this framed chunk of plaster.
So he said, I'm just gonna write it on the wall and then you won't, then you guys can't lose it. Nirvana ended up growing and becoming something that was like unfathomably huge.
Also huge, the Sub Pop Records label, where Megan Jasper began her career in 1989.
Well, I started as an intern and I packaged records and sent them to college radio stations.
Soon she was promoted to receptionist.
And I juggled, at that time, 5 lines, which felt like a load, but the lines kept growing.
The 1990s were an exciting time. Sub Pop signed bands like Nirvana, Soundgarden, and Mudhoney, and then shared that new grunge sound with the world.
Music gave me a community.
At one point, Sub Pop laid Megan off, but she continued to pay her dues in the music industry. Then, years later, they asked her to come back for a different job.
I went from intern to CEO. I was so happy to come home. It felt great. I've had such the good fortune of meeting so many people who are so inspiring and incredible and smart, and I get to have lunch with 2 of those people today.
Megan's lunch dates, John Richards from KEXP Radio, one of the most influential radio stations in the world, and John Roderick, former member of Seattle sensation Harvey Danger, and now lead singer of the Long Winters.
Hi, Megan. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. They are 2 of my favorite goofballs that live in Seattle.
The party started when Megan's Reach Now ride showed up to take her to the Ruins, a charming private dining club and event space in Seattle's Queen Anne neighborhood where the old friends sat down to talk about the Seattle music scene, then and now.
So your first course, a little winter beet salad.
Thank you so much.
The friends started by reminiscing about their favorite rock and roll moments.
I've been there for some of your crazy rock and roll moments.
Which stage did I jump on? One was the Sub Pop anniversary. We're on top of the Space Needle.
That was cool.
So when you find yourself doing live radio and the first music performances to ever happen on top of the Space
Mudhoney
Needle.
on the Space Needle.
And so you have Mudhoney, you have Sub Pop Records, you have KEXP. I mean, it was just a cliche of everything that was Seattle.
So that reminds me of, it's not my story, it's Brian's story, my husband. He's a kid living in West Seattle, loves music, loves all the bands that were huge at the time, Nirvana, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam. He's walking along Alki and he sees 2 cyclists coming towards him. One is Chris Cornell and the other is Eddie Vedder. Can you imagine just being like a music fan?
Riding penny farthing bicycles?
That's what I thought happened all the time.
Yeah.
So your next course, you 2 have a black cod.
As the trio enjoyed their lunch, they discussed life after grunge.
But what was going on at that time was this transition. You had this lull. You had all these bands that moved here and failed. And then out of this grunge dark period, you started to have some pop bands. Harvey Danger. You had Def Cab for Cutie. You had Built to Spills making splashes over here. But the other thing that was happening, what I think saved it, was some really upbeat, like suddenly some happy music.
Presidents of the U.S.
President of the United States is my example.
Yeah, that felt like life after grunge.
It
to
really
me.
did.
And it felt like everything had like burned down
Yes.
and was depressing and heavy and brutal.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there was this light music that was quirky and interesting and totally different.
For your last course, you have a pear and prosecco sorbet.
Wow.
The friends finish their meal by sharing what they're excited about now. Starting with John Roderick's podcast, Omnibus.
29,000 is what you get today.
He does it with prolific Jeopardy winner Ken Jennings.
Hi, I'm John Roderick of the 21st century rock band, The Long Winters.
Right.
I'm always introduced as
Are you?
John Roderick of The Long Winters has a podcast. I think what it is that it posits me as the cool one.
Right.
Because Ken Jennings is like the coolest, nerdy Mormon quiz show winner you've ever met. Those are the hemispheres.
Baby, I'll be gone, but when I'm back again.
Discovering new bands all the time.
We are always listening to new music. You guys are too.
Yeah.
Well, right now, one of my favorite artists is from Portland, and that's Kyle Kraft. I love Kyle's
I think
music.
that might be one of the options.
Lady of the Ark, I think you were the star.
How about a cheers to music and the role that it's played in all of our lives?
I can
Here,
sense
here.
that.
Okay.
Don't drink that.
A special thanks to our sponsor, Reach Now, for making today's Party of Three possible. With Reach Now, you can have a BMW or Mini at your fingertips, drive yourself, or with Reach Now Ride, the new service just for Seattle, a driver will come get you. For complete details, log on to SeattleRefined.com. Seattle Refined is just getting started.
I saw the flyer about laughter therapy. And then, oh, I like this idea.
The Seattle club that proves laughter really is the best medicine. Plus,
You must see this droid safely delivered to him on Alderaan.
one of the most famous scenes from Star Wars has inspired a tech breakthrough. We'll explain next.
Welcome back to Refined. I'm Guard Swanson. The poet Robert Frost once said, if we couldn't laugh, we would all go insane. Now, if that's true, Refined's Brandon Bernstead may have discovered the sanest people in the world, or not. You be the judge.
You know, Mama? Sure that little asshole's through?
Laughter. It's distinct.
Well, whatever Lucy's got, it's catching.
Personal.
Which is as much a part of Australia.
It conveys happiness and joy. It's food for the soul. But all too often, we forget to laugh. Which begs the question, can we learn again? Can laughing more really change your life?
I'm very, very happy all of you to be here. Tell me who's the first time with this club.
Ask Tita Begashaw and she'll tell you the answer is yes. Tita is something of a legend at Harborview Medical Center. Her vibrant personality reverberates off the walls of the busy hospital. While her official title is Patient Services Specialist, laughter is her life's work.
Laughter is universal. Laughter is contagious. Let's bring this epidemic to all human beings in the world.
Her mission manifests itself twice a month when the sounds of sirens, of doctors and nurses hard at work, are temporarily drowned out by the sound of people laughing. Raucous, uproarious, completely unconfined. Tita is the leader of Harborview's laughter group.
Look at all of us, we have like different face, you know, we all beautiful when you see our art. Smile, smile and laugh, okay?
A collection of people from all walks of life. Hospital employees, patients, folks from the community at large. To be clear, they don't do jokes.
All human beings respect. That's why we do without joking, just to laugh, to bring more joy in our life every day, the present moment. Thank you. Oh, I feel great to have you here.
They're here to laugh. A group of adults acting unapologetically like kids.
Now I feel like high energy. Shake my hand, shake my hand, shake.
Some come to relieve stress, some for the sense of community, some because it just makes them feel good. But they all stay because of her.
Tita's the greatest. She's got the energy for this.
She's so invigorating and so happy all the time. I've never seen anybody as happy as she is. And it just makes you want to get up and dance and enjoy life.
Joy, just pure joy. To share with anybody, everybody. I just knew she was special.
The thing is, Tita wasn't always this happy. There was a time when that big, bright smile was replaced by tears. She immigrated to the U.S. from Ethiopia in 1990 and moved to Seattle in 1994. That same year, her younger brother was killed in Los Angeles. She describes it as a horrible situation, one that left her searching for answers, searching for something to hold on to.
I was totally lost. I don't know what to do. Finally, I was just crying down. I don't want to live my life like this. So I was looking a place to volunteer. I found Harborview.
She found Harborview and never left. That volunteer position turned into a full-time job. And in 2001,
I saw the flyer about laughter therapy. And then, oh, I like this idea.
Very good! Yay!
in that class, Tita found her calling. She became a certified laughter coach a year later. And in leading the class, a class dedicated to laughter, she found something more, a community.
We have very high connection. My laughter community group is we connect very well. We love each other, we play together, and then just great friendship.
They come together to laugh, but it's a catalyst for so much more.
Life is celebration. What I discover myself, life is a joy. Life is do good things for other people. Forgive. Just be positive day by day. Live in the moment. When you live in the moment, make us feel good. That's the whole message. The message is the good heart living.
That's the thing about this laughter class. As it turns out, it's not really about laughter at all. For Seattle Refined, I'm Brandon Bernstein.
To learn more about Harborview's laughter group, log on to our website. Coming up, inside the local plant where the juice is really worth the squeeze. And the countdown to the Oscars, where you need to be on Sunday night.
Welcome back to Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. Washington is famous the world over for our wine grapes. But did you know our state is also tops when it comes to producing grapes for juice and concentrate? You know what? It's true. You got to look it up. Washington Grown's Christy Goranson shows us how they do it.
I'm at the Welch's plant in Grandview. Washington provides the majority of grapes used in all those famous Welch's products we know and love. I visited with Senior Operations Manager Brad Bigalk to talk about this local facility.
This location is a bulk facility for Welch's. In a typical season, it could be anywhere from 100 to 110,000 tons. And so that produces roughly anywhere from 20 to 22 million gallons of juice.
Brad led me inside for a tour of how their grape concentrate is uniquely processed and shipped all over the world.
Whoa! Wow, that's a lot of juice.
Yeah, so basically what's happening is after the grapes have been crushed and the stems removed, it gets pumped over to what we call a slurry tank.
It smells really good.
Yeah, I love grape processing. It has got a great smell to it.
I learned how adding cellulose helps in the juice pressing process.
What cellulose does is it actually acts as a thickening agent. So when it gets put up to the press, it allows a body, so when it gets pressed, more juice comes out from the solids.
Can I drop this in?
Yeah, absolutely.
After the cellulose is added, the juice is sent to a drag screen. This process uses brushes to push juice out of the grape solids.
So you are getting absolutely every last bit of flavor and juice
Yes.
out of those grapes.
Correct.
The solids are then sent to another juicing process, the unique vertical screw press.
So this pressing part is important to Welch's, right?
Absolutely. This is really what distinguishes Welch's as a grape juice processor, and what makes us unique is solids that come off the drag screen, and it's further pressing it down, so we're getting all the extra juice, color, and flavor extracted. And so then all the cellulose that was added is 100% of it's removed.
After the press, the juice is sent to another process called concentrating, where all that water is removed, making an all-natural, pure concentrate that is used to make different grape juice products. The concentrate is poured into drums, sealed, and then transported by rail and semis to Welch's bottling facilities, as well as international markets.
And they go out to the world.
And then they go out to the world and, all over Europe and Asian markets.
You like that?
Yeah, we do too.
Look for more stories like that one from our friends at Washington Grown every week right here on Refined. We'll be right back.
I did. Welcome back to the show. I'm Guard Swanson. Well, the countdown is on to some huge events here in the Northwest and beyond.
If you're in downtown Seattle Thursday and see a bunch of people dressed up like superheroes, there's a good reason. Thursday is the first day of Emerald City Comic-Con, the annual celebration of comics, sci-fi, and everything else fun and nerdtastic takes over the Washington State Convention Center for 4 fun-filled days. It's the best people watching of the year, so if you have the chance, you gotta check it out. From people watching to stargazing. Don't forget, Oscar Sunday is coming right up. The opening ceremony live from the red carpet starts this Sunday right here on Como 4, followed by the main event. I know where I'm going to be on Sunday night.
Now, if you watch this show, you know I am one of the only people on the planet who has never seen a Star Wars movie from start to finish. But even I know who Princess Leia is, and as Dan Rascone shows us, one of Leia's most iconic scenes is inspiring a group of engineers to galactic new heights.
I saw part of the message.
It's one of Hollywood's most iconic scenes.
General Kenobi.
40 years later,
why is this stuck?
Electrical engineers are still trying to duplicate that 3D hologram image of Princess Leia from 1977.
Droid safely delivered.
But here at BYU,
It's really exciting.
a breakthrough in hologram technology that just might be the secret to unlocking the code of 3D images that float in the air and you can see from every angle.
We're really happy to report that this technology really could do it.
They've dubbed it the Princess Leia Project. With a lot of cool lasers, mirrors, and technology, they've managed to create what is actually called a volumetric image.
We've trapped a little particle with this laser beam. Then we can use mirrors to move that laser beam around. So now we're dragging the particle around through space.
Produce the red laser?
So with the help of electrical engineering students like Eric Nygaard and Wesley Rogers, the BYU team has actually created a hologram that you can see from all angles.
We think our approach here has the potential to really develop into those displays that we've been dreaming of for 40 some odd years.
Believe it or not, bringing this little tiny particle to life actually took hours and hours, weeks, even years to do this. In fact, the Princess Leia project has been going on for nearly 4 years. With this kind of technology,
loosen landscaping the shrubbery then.
The possibilities are endless, just like we've seen portrayed in sci-fi movies.
So there's no limit to the things that you can print so long as those are things that share space with you.
I regret that I am unable to present my father's request to you in person.
So maybe, just maybe, this is the breakthrough we need to finally bring Princess Leia to our galaxy.
All right, that's going to do it for today's show. I'm Guard Swanson. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you next time right here on Seattle Refined.